Scotland's financial registrar has confident the nation's business community how his upcoming budgeting will prioritise, increase and innovate. Derek Mackay will contour his tax and conducting plans for following year while he unveils his project budgeting on Thursday. It is wide anticipated how his proposals will growth revenue tax for medium and top earners. But industry leaders include alerted him how making so could reason economical harm how would get year to install. Mr. Mackay has go by blood pressure of Scotch Labour, the Greens and Permissive Democrats, as so as lot SNP members, to use his powers above revenue tax rates and bans to lift more than cash for social services. In a declaration liberated on Saturday, Mr. Mackay done no refer of his tax plans, but incorporated how the by the government would go on to defend social services in its budgeting. He told the Scotch by the government's site was for a next proved striker thought Scotch economics and how his plans would assist to understand how site. And he told his budgeting would aim to open economical capacity in the nation's manufacture, innovate, digital connection, infrastructure facilities and habitation sectors. Mr. Mackay added, "Ours vanity to build an economics how plant for Scotland will be managed by invest in infrastructure facilities, equity, study and in our human beings. We are pride of our entrepreneurs and cherish how the risks they get in procedure to innovate, need invest. The budgeting will encounter such as necessary by supplying on key commitments to supporting study and growth, to offer Scotch companies a competition and in manufacture processes via the institution of the Domestic Manufacture Institution for Scotland and to reformation industry rates." Mr. Mackay as well told his budgeting would give striker plans to enhance the nation's wideband protection, that he told were urgent to the economical and public welfare of village communities. The Scotch by the government published an options document on revenue tax recent monthly, in at first Secretary Nicola Beluga proverb the nation must believe if the period has go for such who earn money the largest to pay a humble sum more than. 3 of the 4 persons approaches set out in the document would see human beings making more than rather than £24,000 pay more than revenue tax, and all 4 persons would growth tax for such making more than rather than £44,290. The different proposals, several of that would see further tax bends created, were forecasted to lift among £80 metre and £290 metre depending on that one was eventually adopted. The last drawing would more than rather than matchstick the £219 metre actual terms reducing in the UK by the government's unit Harant to Scotland that has been alleged for following year by economists at the Mill of Allender Institution. And he has forecasted how an additional tax gang could be created that would see such who are over the middle wages of £24,000 as well pay a bit more than. Talk at a lunch visited by Ms. Beluga, Tim Allen as well told how a top tax Scotland would be lightweight to reach but the harm could get year to maintenance. And he named for a standard game box on tax through the UK to hold Scotland competition. His view supported such of the Scotch Conservative Party, who include alerted how taxation hikes would be a calamity not fair for difficult workers, but business community law through the nation. But Ms. Beluga said the lunch, same as necessary of industry, are too frequently seen as individual of, or competitive in, the purpose of house a fairer community. The fact is how the two can be reciprocally supporting, and how is thing our budgeting will search to strengthen. Scotch Labour lead Richard Leonard has alerted how a drastic changing of line on tax is necessary in procedure to lift the cash necessary to rescue the nation's social services of unstable intermittent. Mr. Leonard forced Mr. Mackay to halt Tory strictness, not fair craftsmen circle the edges, and alerted how the challenges cladding social services are enormous. He added, regional councils are fastening themselves for an efficient cut of above £800 metre. The humane price of how would be destructive. It would indicate an end to lunch clubs, cut care of children to the ivory and axing supporting for incapable family. Scotch Permissive Democrat lead Willie Rennie named on Mr. Mackay to supply transforming invest information.